Bonjour, bonjour, mon petit chifle, Amber here. So, since I have officially given up on dating and come to terms with the fact that any relationship, casual or otherwise, is absolutely not in the cards for me, I have learned and accepted that I'm not the person that gets dated, that gets romanced, I guess, or, you know, more casual versions of that. I made an attempt, left with some things I'm still sorting with and dealing with. That's not what we're here to talk about. But since coming to terms with all of this, I have I've been handling it in possibly not the best way, financially at least. I figured the only sensible thing to do here, obviously, is to spend all of my money living vicariously through fictional characters. And I went from most of the year really not buying books and being really proud of myself to the end of this summer forward, really September. That was my birthday, and I really was justifying it with, it's a birthday gift, treat yourself. But I've been buying predominantly romance for the past couple of months, and I just figured I figured I would share the books that I have acquired since my birthday, the romance books specifically since my birthday. I am planning to do a whole other haul of just like the etc. of it all. Sorry, I'm just looking at this pile of books. I'm just like, girl, please get it together, consider therapy. Why would I do that when I could just continue buying books, you know? I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something else, but oh, I actually intended to do this maybe like a month or I intended to do this probably around September, mid-October, and it's almost December, so I have just continued collecting said books. So I'm gonna do this now and just kind of hopefully, like, we're resetting, we're stopping this train, we're going back to a normal consumption, perhaps. I don't want to talk much longer. It's taken 4 minutes to try to get anything out of my head. So let's go. I piled these, I stacked them in order that I got them. Don't know why I felt the need to tell you that. Let's just get started. Amber, shut up. Stop talking. Stop jabbering and talk about the books. The first, like, 5 are the books I got for my birthday, around my birthday. And the first one is Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. This is one that was on my yearly TBR, my yearly my 2025 anticipated release list. I am also going to say, because it's taken so long to finally film this video, I'm going to do my best to remember what these books are about. But I know this one is a second chance romance. Quite a few of these are actually. This one is a second chance romance. This one follows Ren and Ellis, who fell in love young, got married young, and are now divorced in their 30s. They are, at the beginning of this, dropping their son off at college, I don't know, and in a final attempt to reconcile, I guess, or have a final shot at their relationship, Ellis convinces Ren to road trip back home, like I said, to see if they can give their relationship a final chance. I'm kind of, like I said, quite a few of these are sort of second chance romance. It's kind of I don't know why that's such a mood, that maybe because that's sort of what I'm writing at the moment, and also possibly also because at the time I was writing my holiday short story, which available to read on Substack, and that is also a second chance romance, and they also have a child. And I'm so intrigued by the concept of them going on a road trip. And from this cover, it looks like there might be some camping involved. I always love a romance that has a camping scene. Maybe it's because I associate it with Get a Life, Chloe Brown. That's my favorite scene in that book. That's one of my favorite like romance love scenes that I've read. My brain's feeling scattered, and I'm gonna try really hard not to describe this video in the middle of it and just say screw it and like be done. But with that, I got Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley. This one is a workplace romance and a sort of like rivals to lovers situation. This follows Trishara and what is this man's name? Rafe. Trishara is an engineer, and I believe she's like aiming for a promotion. Rafe is the boss's son, and he is also the man that her hard-earned promotion goes to. Ew. This takes place on a work trip to Hawaii? Maui? A work retreat it's an island, right? Maui. Tris plans to avoid Rafe entirely, but when she arrives in Maui, a booking error has them stuck sharing the honeymoon suite. Sure, it's not all torture. Rafe is a smoldering 10. Okay, fine, an 11. But after years of competition, they can barely stand being in the same time zone. As they vie against each other during aptitude tests and team building exercises, Tris begins to realize Rafe might not be the villain after all. With her dreams at stake, can she learn to trust the man who might have been standing in her corner all along? You know, honestly, since I don't know of a time, I don't think there will ever be a time where visiting Hawaii is in the cards for me, despite how much of a dream it is. I will respect the native Hawaiians and not continue to participate in the destruction of their land, despite, like I said, how much of a dream, how much I've always wanted to visit, despite how much I have dreamt of my Jurassic Park trip. I can once again, like another situation where I am living vicariously through fictional characters. Can't wait to be able to immerse myself and pretend I am on this gorgeous, beautiful, otherworldly island, having a hot, steamy romance with the boss's son, you know? Okay, so next we have another second chance romance. I did mention there were a couple of them sprinkled throughout here, and this one is Heartstrings by Ivy Fairbanks, who is the author of Morbidly Yours, which is another book that I really want to read. I haven't gotten it yet, but I believe one of the characters, I believe it might be the main character, is a mortician. I think there might be ghosts involved. I could be making that up, but I know it takes place in Ireland, as does this book. This one follows Cielo, I believe is her name, who is a cancer survivor. She's also I think she's a medical student, or is she already a doctor? I can't remember. Cielo Lo Valdez doesn't believe in second chances. Surviving cancer taught her life is too short to spend time on someone who wronged you. Period. But Aiden O'Toole is determined to show her life is best spent together. When the toughest nails Texan moved to Galway for medical school, she wasn't looking for love. Aiden, a gorgeous tattooed mandolin-playing lawyer, slipped past her defenses. They each fell hard and fast, but when Aiden was given the opportunity of a lifetime to move to London and record an album, he took it, breaking Lo's heart. Yet more than 2 years and a successful album later, every song he writes is still about her, the one he let get away. And every time Lo hears his voice on the radio singing about love, it's an arrow straight to her soul. Now they're on a collision course as maid of honor and best man. I love a maid of honor, best man romance. So many of my faves, I won't say so many, there have been a couple that I've read recently, and one of my all-time faves Okay, that's a microtrope I absolutely adore and will eat up every time. Anywho, now they're in a collision course as maid of honor and best man at a weekend-long Irish castle wedding. Are some mistakes worth forgiving? Can Aiden convince Lo their song wasn't meant to end? First of all, I really like this cover. I love me an Irish man. And honestly, at the time that I found this felt like a much better alternative to that interesting Hosier fanfic. I haven't read it, and if I do, I'm not going in it with the right intentions probably, but I might. There might be a vlog. I did see it in the bookstore recently and I had a nice little giggle because it's so blatantly Andrew. Oh my god. Anyway, the last one of this first batch, this first little mini pile, is Well Actually by Maisie Eddings. Got some nice sprayed edges. I have read 2 Maisie Eddings books before. 2 of the 3 from her Brush with Love series. Those ones take place in Philly. I don't know where this book takes place, but here's hoping. I guess I can manage and deal with it if it doesn't take place in my town, in my city, and the love interest isn't a Delco boy, which in and of itself, let's be for real, Maisie. Anyway, this one is another, I don't know if I said this, another sort of second chance romance, and I believe it's also like an enemies to lovers type situation. It follows this follows Eva, who is a host of, I want to say, a podcast. It could be a radio show. It's called Sausage Talk, where she interviews B-list celebrities, but she obviously has always had dreams of being a journalist in proper journalism. She ultimately goes viral after publicly calling out her college ex who ghosted her. Said college ex happens to be this like beloved social media personality whose whole platform is built on like calling out toxic masculinity and teaching men how to be normal human beings. So this essentially forces her to confront him on a live episode, and says Riley makes her a deal, allow him to take her on a series of dates to make up for his toxic behavior, then debrief them all on his channel. Eva refuses to play nice, but agrees to the deal to further her own career and continue defaming Riley's good name. I love her. I love her. I love her already. But when these manufactured dates start to feel real, Eva has to wonder if the boy who broke her heart has become the man who might heal it. So this has a lot of black cat, golden retriever energy. I absolutely adore that she is going to make his life miserable, or she's going to try her best. We love it when the girlies are mean to men. It's my favorite thing to do. Maybe that's my problem. Anyway, I absolutely cannot wait to read this. I know I'm gonna love Eva. I know I'm probably gonna love Riley if he's already like down bad for her. I love when the girlies are mean to the men, but I'm also like, I already love Riley. I don't know what to tell you. That's mind your business. The next book we're going to talk about, it was a birthday gift from my friend Tyler, and it's Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. I don't know much about this book or this series, but she loved it and like thought of me. I always appreciate when like people know you, you know, or like know enough about you that like, you know, they see something like, oh, this is perfect for Amber. What I know about this is that it's like serial killers falling in like friends to lovers serial killers. Cereals like Fruit Loops, Captain Crunch. They're rivals. Rival serial killers, friends to lover situation. There it is. That's all I really know. I think there's like, it's leans a little more calm than the other books on the rom-com pile, but also she's gave me this bookmark with it. I like my books spicy, and oh boy do I ever. Oh boy. So thank you, Tyler. I really appreciate this so much and I can't wait to read it. Hopefully I love it. It's a little bit out of what I'm used to reading, but I'm open and I'm intrigued. So the next few books were acquired in October. Most of them I got most of them all on the same day, on the same trip to the bookstore. I'm going to start with the reason I was at the bookstore. We're going to kind of shift gears just a teeny tiny bit, and I have Savage Blooms by S.T. Gibson, which is S.T. Gibson's obviously newest book. In fact, I got this on the Savage Blooms tour, the Philly stop. This one is like an gothic erotic romance that takes place in Scotland, and there are fae involved, there is kinkage involved, there's polyamory involved, there is a gloomy Scottish manor estate. I said fae, so there's like magic involved there. It has Wuthering Heights vibes, it has Hosier vibes, which Saint and I had a nice little combo about. We're both Hosier girlies. So I'm just so intrigued by everything that I know that goes on in this book, and all the things I don't know that goes on in this book. But I kind of have the idea in my mind. I don't think I can pull it off, truthfully. An Education in Malice was the first book that I read this year, and I think it would be kind of funny if this was the very last book I read this year, like a full circle, full closure moment. I don't think I can pull it off because I have a pretty packed TBR, but who knows where the wind will blow. Truthfully, probably if my mind's on it long enough, I won't be able to focus on anything else. I told you the vibes. I didn't really tell you anything of substance, but this follows two friends who... Adam and what is this lady's name? Nicola. I always picture Nicola Coughlan when I read that, and honestly, based on the artwork I've seen, I feel like maybe she was inspired by Nicola Coughlan. We love to see it. Let's see. For as long as Adam can remember, the legends passed down from his world-traveling grandfather have called him to a crumbling manor in the Highlands. Same, bro. His closest friend Nicola also longs for adventure, as well as for Adam himself. She'll follow him just about anywhere, even to the remote wilds of Scotland. Same, bro. If it pushes the pair to surrender to their shared attraction. But when a storm strikes and strands them unexpectedly, Alex, Adam and Nicola find themselves at the mercy of Eileen, the eccentric owner of an infamous Highland manor, as well as her brooding groundskeeper, Finley. Trapped by the weather and bound by ancient fairy magic, Nicola and Adam get more than they bargained for as they become entangled in Eileen and Finley's world of mind games, deceit, and forbidden desire. As ancestral sins are unearthed, Adam and Nicola will have to reckon with the spell Eileen and Finley have cast over them, and whether they even want to be free. So Saint has basically said it's like what would happen if Heathcliff and Kathy had to seduce the I just read that book too. The siblings, to like appease some like fairy spell or curse or something like that. Very interested, very intrigued, very leaning to this plan that I kind of have formulating. Next, I got The Dating Prohibition by Taj McCoy. My foot's falling asleep. Please hold. Oh. Honestly, this was when I went to the bookstore. You know, I got there early, did some wandering. This was one of the first books that caught my eye, and like I was really, really glad about that, honestly, because I realized that all of these books I was getting, all of these romance books I was getting, I realized not enough of these are by Black authors for my liking. And I do have a nice little pile of like diverse authors, and I am really glad about that, but not enough Black authors. So I had to get this. So this follows, what is her name? Kendra, who's just returned home, and she's trying to get her like speakeasy supper club off the ground, but it's proving to be really difficult. Like I said, she is has just returned to her childhood home. She still feels like she's trapped in her big brother's shadow. However, with said big brother comes big brother's bestie, whose name is BJ. I'm 12. Anyway, who is one of the only people that is taking her seriously and kind of viewing her as a grown-up, and is now helping her in this venture. Like I said, he is viewing her as a grown-up in every sense of that word. There is obviously attraction and sparks and chemistry, but he immediately puts a halt on that. It's like, actually, you're absolutely off limits. That's not going to happen, but of course it's going to happen. Of course it's going to happen. Do you know where you are? We love a brother's best friend moment. Absolutely into it. Next is the book I just finished reading. Obviously when I set out to do this book, not only did I not, yes I did have this book because I got it the same day I got the last two books, but I hadn't read it yet. I hadn't read any of these yet, but I just finished reading If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia, and I really enjoyed this book actually. This book is for my Gilmore Girls girlies. It's also pitched to When Harry Met Sally fans, but I haven't seen that movie in a long time, so I'm going to have to rewatch it, which I'm sure my mom will be thrilled about because she loves the Nora Ephrons. Anyway, this book is set in a absolutely adorable, quirky small town in Vermont in 1997. It starts literally right after my seventh birthday. Honestly, 1997 was not the best time for me, truthfully. So it's nice to read about the same time, but like people not going through trauma, you know? That's so good. That's so great. Especially little Brittany. I'm gonna get to her in a second. Anyway, this follows well, Michelle is going through trauma, honestly. Okay, it's not me though. So this follows Michelle, who is taking over her mother's bed and breakfast. Her parents had recently retired to this little town, Copper Run in Vermont, from Seattle, but unfortunately her mom has just died. And her sister is meant to take over the inn, but she is currently finishing art school, so Michelle in the meantime has dropped everything and has moved to Vermont, and she's taking over I don't remember the name of the inn. Bird and Breakfast, that's what it's called. It's very cute. From her like busy city girl business job. She's also recently divorced from this absolute douchebag. Anyway, on the other side of that is Clifford Burke. Who is the town baker. He runs Burke Bakery. He also is a single divorced father of two. Emily, who's 16, and Brittany, who is 6, who clearly would have been my friend because we're the same age, basically. And that's really interesting to think about because I had this revelation. I was walking home and I'm like, not me thirsting over a man old enough to be my father. Because my thought upon reading this book is, I love Cliff Burke, something fierce, and I need one right now, expeditiously, despite, you know, the whole giving up on dating thing. If he just like dropped down in my life, that'd be so great. But then I'm like, this book takes place in 1997, and and I'm like a year older than his youngest child. But you know, who needs realistic realities? Back to what I was saying. This follows Michelle and Cliff. Cliff and his kids live next door to the inn, and they were really close with Michelle's parents. He actually promised Michelle's mom that he would help her run the inn, help her, I guess, ease into running the inn, and basically do anything she needs as far as like the taking over process goes. Reluctantly, they become friends. Michelle realizes she needs to become a part of this town. She needs to make friends. She needs people to like her for the inn to be a success. She's very closed off, very dark cloud energy. They very much have a Luke and Lorelai dynamic, because Cliff is absolute sunshine personified. He is always laughing. He's always cracking a joke. He's always being sarcastic and to the point where a lot of people could find him annoying. He's an acquired taste, but she has acquired that taste, you know? So they become friends. They become best friends. They are quickly reliant on each other and able to be vulnerable with each other. Cliff's girls love her. And it's just so cute and sweet and just very comfortable. It's like such an ultimate friends to lovers book. This book's almost 500 pages, Julie. But like, I get it, because it really takes its time building this friendship, building like a foundation before we go into anything more romantic. It makes it believable. It's honestly such a slow burn. My slow burn girls, because that burn is burning. But yeah, I just had such a good time. It's such a cozy book. I just read a lot of traumatic, emotionally taxing books, what with my October Sinners TBR and then my Hunger Games reread, which I just finished. This was like the first book I read after Mockingjay. Not to mention that this book and the two after this were buy two get one free at the bookstore. Beautiful, blessed, love that for me. And the next book was the book I intended to read after, in place of If It Makes You Happy, but I really wanted to read the super autumnal October-November reads in October and November. So that is the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I've been hearing about this book for so long, and for some reason it just like really piqued my interest this year, this like fall, this autumn. And I thought this was going to be the cozy book to like ease me out of all of that trauma and destruction and chaos, because this is one of the few romance books that is like really categorized as a cozy romance. There are romances that happen to be cozy, but this one is like a cozy romance. And this follows Micah, who is one of the few witches in Britain, and as the title implies, it is a secret. And I believe as one of the few, a warm and uplifting novel about an isolated witch whose opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and a new love changes the course of her life. As one of the few witches in Britain, Micah Moon knows she has to hide her magic, keep her head down, and stay away from other witches so their powers don't mingle and draw attention. And as an orphan who lost her parents at a young age and was raised by strangers, she's used to being alone, and she follows the rules with one exception, an online account where she posts videos pretending to be a witch. She thinks no one will take it seriously, but someone does. An unexpected message arrives begging her to travel to the remote and mysterious Nowhere House to teach 3 young witches, that lisp is lisping, my god, how to control their magic. It breaks all the rules, but Micah goes anyway and is immediately tangled up in the lives and secrets of not only her 3 charges, but also an absent archaeologist, a retired actor, 2 long-suffering caretakers, and Jamie. The handsome and prickly librarian of Nowhere House would do anything to protect the children, and as far as he's concerned, a stranger like Micah is a threat, an irritatingly appealing threat. As Micah begins to find her place at Nowhere House, the thought of belonging somewhere feels like a real possibility. But magic isn't the only danger in the world, and when peril comes knocking at their door, Micah will need to decide whether to risk everything to protect a found family she didn't know she was looking for. Anyone who knows me and my reading tastes knows I am an absolute sucker for found family. So I know there's a high chance that this book is going to really get me the way I need it to. Right, so the next book, I had to hop through hoops to get this book. Okay? I had to hop through hoops to get this book. It recently came out, but it's been so hyped, at least maybe on my timeline. I don't know about everyone else's timeline, For You page, whatever. No, that's TikTok. Anyway, but on Instagram, it's like flooded. I was getting absolutely bombarded by this book, and honestly, I feel like I understand why. It's the book I'm currently reading, and it's Different This Time by Joss Richard. I started this book on Thanksgiving and I'm already almost halfway through. I'm flying through this book, honestly. The only reason I'm not reading it right now is because I'm sitting here doing this. It is so easy to read, so easy to fly through, so instantly captivating. I'm just gonna read the synopsis because I prefer, and I'm gonna read the Goodreads synopsis because I like it better than what's on the back of the book. In the sweeping second chance romance, a twist of fate forces two former roommates to move back into their beloved New York City brownstone and face the events that led to their estrangement and confront their unresolved feelings for each other. Subject: 74 Perry Street. So begins the email that turns June Wood's entire world on its head. 5 years ago, she lived on Perry Street with her former best friend, Adam Harper. But why is the management company reaching out to her about it now? Still smarting from the news of her hit TV show being canceled, June has nothing else to lose. She boards a plane from Los Angeles to New York City to find out more about the mysterious email and the promised opportunity it alludes to. It turns out that thanks to an unbelievable legal loophole, if she and Adam can live together in the stunning West Village brownstone for a month, it's theirs. Any true New Yorker knows you don't pass up prime city real estate, and that fall in the city is magical. So what is there to think about? And yet, though most things have changed in the time since they last spoke, one thing hasn't. June and Adam have unfinished business. They didn't exactly end on good terms, and when they each went off to chase their dreams, they didn't exactly end on good terms when they each went off to chase their dreams. Now confronted with the consequences of their choices, they must navigate the minefield of their past the best way they know, together. Each day they move closer to owning Perry Street reveals misunderstandings, long-term resentments, and long-buried feelings, which are suddenly feeling very not so buried. But they've already lost their friendship once before, devastating them both. Can they risk losing it again for something a little different this time? I'm enjoying this book. There are like multiple timelines. We get like flashback chapters. I do like a flashback. My current project has a few flashbacks. In fact, the dynamic between these two definitely reminds me of my characters, Giselle and Elliot, who similarly had like a falling out and are essentially forced back together later, like years later. I talk about this like it's anywhere near finished. Anywhere near anything. Anyway, I have to go back to New York very soon. I am going back to New York soon, but when I go, I need to make a trip to Perry Street, 74 Perry Street, so I can get like a nice picture. I see people taking their pictures with the actual brownstone, and like, not to be a follower, but I feel like I need to. Also, I do love the New York City brownstones. They're New York. That's my dream. That is my dream, to own a brownstone. I've been in one in my life. My was it my cousins or my cousin? Was it my cousin or my aunt? Whatever. Had a brownstone in Brooklyn. Beautiful. I was very young, but I was very impressed. I'm really enjoying this, and I need to finish it by tomorrow. I wish I hadn't put everything else off so long. I don't know. Whatever. The last book is one of the first books. Oh no, I got 2 more books. Oh, I lied. I skipped one. This should have gone before It's Different This Time, but that only matters to me. And it's The Most Unusual Haunting of Edgar Lovejoy. This is the 3rd one I got with the buy 2 get 1 free. This follows Jamie, who makes haunted houses for a living despite not believing in ghosts, despite living and working in New Orleans, Louisiana. Be for real. That is until they meet Edgar, our boy Edgar, who has spent his life hounded by ghosts, is quite literally haunted. And this is like an opposites attract, obviously. But while Jamie's biggest concern is that Edgar sometimes seems a bit distracted, Edgar's fears are much greater. Not only is he scared of encountering the dearly departed whenever he leaves the house, but he's terrified of making himself vulnerable to Jamie, who may be the trans-masc non-binary person of his dreams. After all, how do you tell someone who believes ghosts only exist as smoke and mirrors that you see them every day, everywhere you go? And how can you trust in a happy future when you can't even believe in yourself? This sounds really cute, and I wish I had gotten around to it during this season. Doesn't mean I'm not going to read it at some point during 2026, but this really felt like a Halloween time read, so maybe I will hold on to it for next year. Oh, this is by Rowan Parrish, by the way. I didn't mention that, sorry. I just really love the cover. This is so cute. This was a bit of a cover buy, I'm gonna be honest. Look how cute this, it looks. It could just be a house that's been flipped, but it's giving haunted house. I mean, it's giving bed and breakfast. And a little pride flag is very cute. The last book, oh, before, let me tell you about these hoops. I couldn't find It's Different This Time anywhere in the bookstore. The day, like a couple days after it dropped, it was sold out basically everywhere online. And I had to, when I was going to my local Barnes & Noble, I had to call, and they were like, it's going to be in stock this week, we'll call you. It was a hassle, but I have it. Last but not least is one of the first books I'm hoping to read in December. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this book for so long. It's Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. Y'all know I don't play about B.K. Borison, and B.K. we trust. This one is a paranormal holiday romance. It follows Harriet, who is an antique shop owner, and Nolan, a ghost of Christmas past, who basically shows up in her home, her living room, to haunt her, despite her not being any sort of Scrooge or anything. And he is this touch-starved ghost who, I believe she's like the first person in like 100 or so years that has been able to touch him. And I don't know how this is gonna work. This reminds me of this Hallmark Christmas movie, could be Lifetime, where this Victorian man travels through time and shows up in this lady's, I think it's a bed and breakfast or something like that, and they like fall in love. So I'm so curious to see how this plays out. I'm so curious. Like, I trust BK with my life. I know whatever she is gonna put, whatever she's put in this book is beautiful and is gonna make me feel things that I probably don't want to feel right now. But I'm so excited to read this book. Also, how cute. She just dropped there's a TikTok edition that's pink with like little Christmas presents or Christmas bows. Let me wrap this up. My camera, I have like a few minutes left to get this done. So these are the 12 romance books I have collected in like 3 months time. I need to chill. I need to relax. I need to figure a lot of things out, you know? But yeah, I can't wait to work my way through this giant pile. I'm already basically 2 down with a 3rd coming up very soon. So that's a teeny bit of progress. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you think of them, anything else that I should add to my pathetic pity party pile. Also, if you wanna, my short story, my holiday short story is on Substack. It is linked below if you'd like to read it. If not, that's cool too. You suck, but it's fine. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down below so you can follow me and I'll follow you back. And I'll see you very soon.